the Champions League and its magical history. Welcome to Daily Soccer Planet, the channel where we live the passion of football. Today we are going to relive the history of the UEFA Champions League, the most prestigious club competition in the world. From its inception to the most thrilling moments, unforgettable goals, and epic comebacks, join us on this journey through the tournament that moves not only millions, but also passions. If you're a true football fan, you surely remember your favorite moments. But how much do you know about the history of the Champions League? Did you know that Real Madrid holds the most titles? Or that a small team like Nottingham Forest achieved a feat still celebrated today? Stay with us to discover it all, the birth of the Champions League. The Champions League, originally called the European Champion Clubs Cup, began on September 4th, 1955, with the first official match between Sporting Lisbon and Partizan Belgrade ending in an exciting 3-3 draw. The idea for this tournament was brought to life by French footballer and journalist Gabriel Hanot, who also created the Ballon d'Or. Real Madrid set the tone early, winning 5 consecutive titles from 1956 to 1960. Stars like Alfredo Di Stefano, Marquitos, Raymond Kopa, and Paco Gento made history. Nottingham Forest's miracle. The football world refers to Nottingham Forest's feat as a miracle. In 1979, this small English team won the final against Malmo 1-0 and repeated the success in 1980 by defeating Hamburg 1-0. Remarkably, Forest achieved this after being newly promoted to England's First Division the year before. They remain the only club to have more Champions League titles than domestic league titles. The tragedy of 1985. Not all moments in Champions League history have been joyous. The 1985 final between Juventus and Liverpool was overshadowed by a tragedy that left 39 dead and over 400 injured. This event forever changed stadium safety and sportsmanship in football. The Dream Team and the 1994 defeat. Finals are usually remembered for the team that won them, but in this case it was so unexpected that the so-called Dream Team, led by coach Johan Cruyff, and formed by classic historical players such as Zubizarreta, Stoichkov, or Guardiola, had just won their first Champions League just 2 years earlier in 1992, when they defeated Sampdoria of Italy 1-0 at Wembley, with a goal by Ronald Koeman. The Azulgrana team was the favorite in the final. However, Milan, coached by Fabio Capello, achieved the unthinkable by scoring a historic goal, 4-0 in that team, where some names such as Paolo Maldini and Marcel Desailly stand out. After that, Barcelona had to wait more than a decade to get rid of the bitter taste of a final. Manchester United's comeback. The match between Manchester United and Bayern Munich in the final of the 1999 season is remembered for being thrilling and epic. The score was dominated by Munich when they were leading 0-1 in the 90th minute, but Manchester United scored 2 goals in injury time in just 3 minutes thanks to goals by Edward Sheringham in the 91st minute and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the 93rd minute to win Manchester United their second Champions League title after a 31-year drought. Zidane's masterpiece. Zinedine Zidane's 2002 volley against Bayer Leverkusen is considered one of the greatest goals in football history. If you love football and want to stay updated on transfers, news, and the stories behind tournaments like the Champions League, subscribe to our channel. Modern Triumphs, the Miracle of Istanbul. This is the name given to the final between Liverpool and Milan, which is considered by many to be the best final in the history of the Champions League. At halftime, Milan was winning 3-0, and it seemed a more than controlled final, remembering that the goals had been scored by Paolo Maldini and the Argentine Hernan Crespo, who scored twice. However, Liverpool, under the guidance of Spaniard Rafa Benitez, managed to level the score in the second half, thanks to Steven Gerrard, Vladimir Smicer, and Xabi Alonso. In the penalty shootout, Liverpool won 3-2 with a great performance by goalkeeper Jerzy Dudek, who managed to save 2 kicks from Andrea Pirlo and another from Andriy Shevchenko. Mourinho's surprising FC Porto and Deportivo de La Coruña's comeback in 2004. In that edition of the Champions League, there were several memorable moments. One, in the quarterfinals, as Deportivo de La Coruña had lost 4-1 against Milan, but the Spanish team gave the big surprise in the second leg, winning with a score of 4-0, achieving an epic feat. However, the Spanish team did not reach the final, which was played by Porto of Portugal and Monaco. The Portuguese team won the first Champions League of its history in one of the most surprising and unexpected finals in the history of this competition, defeating Monaco of France 3-0. It was also the great revelation because in the round of 16, they eliminated Manchester United, which in that edition was one of the favorite teams to win the tournament. Real Madrid's golden era. Real Madrid ended a decade-long drought with their 2014 victory, led by Sergio Ramos' last-minute equalizer against Atletico de Madrid, forcing the extra time, and thanks to goals by Gareth Bale, Marcelo, and Cristiano Ronaldo, they managed to settle the story with a score of 4-1 after being losing until the 91st minute, when everything seemed to fizzle out. And from there began a good run for the team that has won the tournament the most times for 3 consecutive seasons. Won it in 2016, 2017, and 2018, being the first team to achieve this feat. The other remaining cups were lifted in 2022 and 2024, defeating Liverpool and Borussia Dortmund, respectively, in these finals to add 15 trophies in this competition. Manchester City's first title. After the passage of great players like Yaya Toure, Sergio Aguero, Vincent Kompany, and other emblematic players of the team who had not been able to achieve this feat, finally, in 2023, Manchester City won its first Champions League title under Pep Guardiola after several years dominating the English league, and in 2021, and lose the European title against Chelsea, had their revenge, with great players such as Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, and Erling Haaland, defeated Inter Milan in the final by a score of 1-0, thanks to a goal by Rodrigo Hernandez, and conquered the long-awaited European dream that had escaped them in previous seasons, despite having competitive rosters. Epic Barcelona vs Real Madrid clashes. Barcelona's dominance in the early 2010s included a semi-final victory over Real Madrid in 2011, highlighted by Lionel Messi's memorable brace. They went on to defeat Manchester United in the final, winning their 4th title. The UEFA Champions League is not just a tournament, but a stage where football's greatest stories are written. These magical nights remain etched in every fan's memory. What's your favorite moment in Champions League history? Let us know in the comments or suggestions. We're reading them.